the Midnight Highway. As the clock struck midnight, Sarah found herself on a desolate highway, her car the only presence in the darkness. She had taken this route countless times before, but tonight was different. Tonight, the air felt heavy with a sense of foreboding, and the road seemed to stretch into eternity. The only company Sarah had was the rhythmic hum of her engine and the occasional flicker of her headlights against the dense forest that bordered the road. She tried to shake off the unease creeping up her spine, chalking it up to fatigue and the eerie ambience of the late hour. But then she saw it. A figure standing by the side of the road, barely visible in the dim glow of her headlights. Sarah's heart raced as she approached, her foot instinctively easing off the gas pedal. As she drew nearer, she could make out the silhouette of a person, their face obscured by the shadows. Against her better judgment, Sarah slowed down and rolled down her window. "Are you okay?" she called out, her voice barely above a whisper. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it took a step closer, revealing itself to be a man, his features twisted into a grotesque mask of pain. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she recoiled, her instincts screaming at her to flee. But before she could react, the man spoke, his voice a raspy whisper that sent shivers down her spine. "Help me," he pleaded, his words dripping with desperation. "Please, you have to help me." Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she weighed her options. Every fibre of her being screamed at her to drive away, to leave this nightmare behind, but something held her back, a nagging sense of guilt and compassion. Against her better judgment, Sarah unlocked the passenger door and motioned for the man to get in. As he settled into the seat beside her, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had just made a grave mistake. The man muttered something unintelligible under his breath, his eyes fixed on the road ahead. Sarah tried to make small talk, to ease the tension that hung heavy in the air, but the man remained silent, his gaze unyielding. Minutes turned into hours as they drove deeper into the night, the darkness swallowing them whole. Sarah's mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead, her grip on the steering wheel tightening with each passing mile. And then, without warning, the man spoke again, his voice low and menacing. "You shouldn't have stopped," he hissed, his words sending a chill down Sarah's spine. "You shouldn't have helped me." Before Sarah could react, the man lunged at her, his hands closing around her throat with a vice-like grip. Panic surged through her veins as she fought against his strength, clawing desperately at his face in a futile attempt to break free. But it was no use. The man's grip only tightened, his eyes ablaze with a madness that chilled Sarah to the bone. In that moment, she knew she was running out of time. With one final burst of adrenaline, Sarah slammed her foot down on the gas pedal, the car lurching forward with newfound speed. The man's grip faltered as they hurtled down the highway, his screams drowned out by the roar of the engine. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The man released his hold, his body slumping against the passenger seat as Sarah raced towards the safety of the dawn. As the first light of morning broke through the horizon, Sarah pulled over to the side of the road, her hands trembling as she stared out into the distance. She knew she would never forget the horrors of this night, the terror that had lurked in the darkness, waiting to strike. But as she took a deep breath and gathered her composure, Sarah knew one thing for certain: she would never stop for a stranger on the Midnight Highway again. I hope you found this story suitably chilling and engaging. Let me know if you want more details or if there's anything else I can do for you. To get scary stories, scary true stories, horror true stories, scary true horror stories, scary comp, scary videos, horror videos, creepy stories, creepypasta, scary real stories, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.